I'm Roger with Roger Outdoors. Today we're going to talk about gathering edible wild foods, primarily fruits and vegetables. This is something I've done for 50, 60 years, and with my wife, Linda. She's a big garden person that knows her fruits or her plants very well. She and I used to teach classes through Parks and Rec on doing some of this stuff, and we learned, over the years to add new things by reading books from Euell Gibbons, Nelson Coombs, David Benolio on gathering edible wild food or foraging, that sort of thing, and just kind of, and then talking to people that that's what their hobby is, and just maybe go with them on a trip and say, hey, where do you find this stuff, and which one is, if that's a mushroom, is that the right kind, that kind of thing. And if you go with an expert that has done it before, tasted this stuff, you can feel fairly comfortable in doing that. One of the things that just to get started, what we did was in your own neighborhood, you take a look around, and a lot of times you'll see a tree that's just not being harvested, that maybe cherries are falling to the ground, or figs are falling to the ground, and or apples, or just whatever the fruit is, plums, and you say, geez, they look good, and we found that just by banging on the door and say, hey, I noticed that, the likelihood is the guy that owns the house now didn't plant the tree, and he basically could care less about that fruit anymore. And especially if we say, hey, if I pick a couple cherries and make you a cobbler, do you mind if I pick a bunch? And I don't think we've ever been turned down, to tell you the truth. Anyway, that's one of the techniques that we use. And one of the things that you get, as you get started, read some of these books. The Euell Gibbons, or Nelson Coombs or something, because what they have is they have a calendar of when do strawberries get ripe, when do blackberries or what the specific kinds, or blueberries, when should you go out there and harvest them. You can go out and harvest them in the wild, or sometimes it's go to a U-pick place and pick your goodies there, but at least you know when they're going to be ripe. But what it's done for us, we've kind of had a few things from time to time, and we've learned that we can harvest nettles maybe in 1st of March or something, and wear some gloves or a plastic bag or something so you don't get all prickly, and boil them, pour out the nettle part and boil them again, and they taste like spinach. They're actually good. I enjoy them. It's just another vegetable to have with the meal, and you can get them in the wild. So being able to do some of this, knowing what's edible and what isn't edible, not only does it, if you ever get lost in the wild, what to eat and what not to eat, but more than that, it gives you something to do while you're out there. That's maybe your main thing is, I want to go for a hike, and then while you're out there, it's kind of like, well, let's take a camera along and take some pictures of birds or animals or wildflowers or something, and hey, there's a salmon berry over there, that looks pretty good, it's ripe, I think I'll taste it, or a wild strawberry or something. And it just adds to your enjoyment of being outdoors. And so if you spend a little bit of time looking up some of this stuff, see what it looks like, so you can identify it yourself. Make sure you be safe. Again, make sure, like mushrooms, for example, don't pick mushrooms that you aren't absolutely certain that this is a morel. I've gone with an expert, and he showed me what time of year and what it looks like and all that stuff, and I feel comfortable doing it myself now. Go about it that way. There's no magic to, don't try to pick the whole forest full of mushrooms. There's maybe 40 or 50 kinds that grow out there, but something like a morel or a chanterelle is very distinctive, and you can identify it from all the rest of them if you decide to add that to your itinerary. And it's fun. Just get out there, do it. If you happen to see me out there and I'm bending down to pick something, stay out of my way, but don't forget to wave.